I like to think of the work that I do in churches as a continuation of the Lazarus principle. It is God who speaks life into Lazarus. Lazarus, come forth. And the people standing around says, gee, he walks funny. And Jesus said, why don't you untie him? My job is not to create life. God's already done that. My job is to loose them and set them free. Let those ideas become seen. God, I say to myself, what are you getting ready to do here? Help me to interpret to them in such a way that they can hear it and see it. Now, a congregation, properly understood, if I could leave you with one idea, only one idea about the nature of a congregation, it's this. A congregation is biologically and spiritually a support system for nesting stage families. If you get a hold of that truth, most of what you know about congregationals will fall into line at some point or another. A congregation is a support system for nesting stage families. Say it with me. A congregation is a support system for nesting stage families. Now, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a congregation to help that set of families to rear their children in the Christian faith. So much so is this the truth that there is a movement abroad that's kind of setting children's ministry within the context of parenting ministry. The idea that we are here to make sure that these parents are getting everything they need so that their children can get everything they need. And when that concept is not present, then we wind up with deficiencies where kids come through our programs and bail on us when they get to high school. We've segregated the family and broken it in so many pieces that we haven't understand how to maintain its coherence. Now, you can do an elaborate system. Here's one that takes the anticipated normal life conditions of moving from singlehood through the marriage market into coupling, into having children, into seeing those children leave home, into assuming the responsibilities of grandparents, and finally into widowhood, is an expected trajectory which more than half of your people will fulfill at some point or another. There are exceptions to all of these, and especially the exception in the curse of our lifetime is so many single family homes where the nesting stage has been broken and needs serious supplementing. But with this as our array of possibilities for segmentation, at the center of that is the nesting stage family, and the key to renewal in most cases is found in restoring the primacy of the nesting stage family in our programs. Everything else will find its way if that particular keynote is struck. What happens as a congregation ages, it moves from the condition you see here on the left, where there's lots of children, which is still characteristic of, let's say, Mexican congregations in this country, to the US standard for age trees, where there's more or less an equal number of people in each age group, except for the devastations of the Holocaust against our infants. To, over on the right, a picture of what Japan society looks like today, but what many of our churches look like. Many churches that need turnaround when you go in to see them. The lower ages are missing. The nurseries are empty. One of my clients said when I arrived here, I had 2 babies in the nursery. And the majority of my voting members were over 60. That kind of a congregation is very close to closing its doors. Another decade or two, there's nothing there. Now, that phenomena occurs when a focus on nesting stage families is not maintained across time. And the longer a pastor is in a given church, the more likely it is that he is graying, and as he grays, his nest is emptying, and as his nest empties, his wife is no longer there to coach him into keeping primacy on those young families, and the whole congregation ages with it.